Hey everyone. Hopefully it's up and running. Let me know if it's well, you can't really let me know if it's not because you wouldn't be hearing me say that. So let me know if it's good, I guess, if you're watching. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be about 5 minutes here until the Sabres are officially on the clock. So just kind of in time, just biding our time here. It doesn't look like there's really been any trades that happened pre-draft, so not really a whole lot to talk about in that regard. Just kind of a lot of rumors and what ifs and maybes that might be happening. So surely there'll be a lot more action during the actual draft. So, oh, and I should probably christen this live stream off with a beer. So, happy draft. So, yeah, oh, cool. I see its stuff is working. Oh, so Grubauer did get traded. I actually did not see that. That is new. So Colorado picks up Grubauer and Orpik. Wow, for a second. Is that all? I feel like that's a really good trade for Colorado, if that's the case. That's insane. Let me see here. Let's see if I can... That's it. Jeez. Wow, that just doesn't... That seems like a really cheap price for those two players, a second-round pick. Like, I know Washington was looking... I mean, rumors were going around that Washington was looking for a first-rounder just for Grubauer and then throwing out Orpik. I know Orpik's not, at the peak of his career. But he's still... I mean, he'll still be a top 6 defenseman for you, so... Wow. That's... yeah, Colorado won that trade in my book, for sure. That's insane. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm just trying to do about 20 things at once right now before the draft actually starts. Apologies. This is my first actual live stream, so there are gonna be issues. I already know it. All right. So yeah, oh, salary dump. Yeah, I guess salary dump would make sense for the Capitals. They're kind of in that position. They basically had to win this year. I know we kind of said that a little bit last year, just because they had to get rid of guys. But this year was kind of the truly kind of last year. Especially with this group of players, that they had a chance, and credit to them, they actually pulled it off and won a Stanley Cup. So Capitals are kind of in almost like 2010 Blackhawks mode now, trying to get rid of guys. Yeah, I see. There's always going to be these. We've been seeing this all day with these reports about possible trades, and There's always going to be things happening. I mean, GMs wouldn't be doing their jobs if they weren't, actually looking for, trying to get their team better and looking at all avenues for it, whether it be trades or moving up in the draft or whatnot. So, Orpik, yeah. So, I mean, as the day goes on, we're going to hear more stuff. I kind of like to hold off on really speaking in depth about things until actual trades are actually reported as confirmed. So, But yeah, we're gonna hear a lot about that. I mean, Mads, you got to remember Orpik is a defenseman, so top 6 would be being on the team. That's third line defenseman, third pairing. Bottom 6 would be rotation of being scratched essentially. But he's a guy that's he's 38, but he'll. I see him still being solidly in that third pair role. So, it's weird. Yeah, top 6, bottom 6. It kind of is a weird terminology for a defenseman, but yeah. I still feel like Colorado kind of won that trade, even with Orpik's age. He still will give some experience too. The Colorado Avalanche, that's still a young team, right? No need to apologize, bud. No need to apologize. That's fine. The Avalanche are still a young team, so they get in a guy like Orpik who's been in the league a long time, is just coming off winning a Stanley Cup. He's got a lot of experience that he can instill in young players. The Avalanche are a team that's on the up and up, so even if he doesn't really produce all that much, Colorado's got the cap room, and I think it works out for them. And they get Grubauer with it too, right? So that move makes a lot of sense from their side. And I guess for Washington, it's something I guess they probably had to do, rather get something for those guys rather than nothing. But I feel like they could have gotten more than just a second round pick. So maybe like a second and a third, or possibly a first from another team. But if that was the only option for them to get rid of Orpik's contract, then beggars can't be choosers, really. So sorry, I've got the actual stream over here. So if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm trying to keep up with what's going on. So let's see here. So yeah, okay, so Bettman's basically just going over the Humboldt thing right now. But I'm guessing Buffalo won't actually be on the clock till probably the top of the hour. They're probably just kind of doing some intro stuff right now with Bettman and the league. Probably going to be announcing formally some things like the salary cap and the salary cap floor and stuff like that. So, and then talking about other things like the Humboldt tragedy and everything. So, but yeah, I think we're still a little bit away from hearing Rasmus Dahlin's name getting called first overall. Yeah, Islanders are making some good moves though. Getting Barry Trotz, as a coach, and then Lou Lamoriello as GM, and I fully expect them to get Tavares re-signed. I don't see him really leaving, but that's just my opinion. Svechnikov is solidly a number 2 guy. Third overall, that's tough. It really depends on what the need is. Any of these guys that are in the 3 to 10 range are going to be solid pickups. It's really going to be probably down to player interviews for the teams based on how they think they'll fit with their team. I think a lot of these guys, kind of 3 through 10, could easily be just mixed around, just based on how each team kind of thinks about a certain player. So, I don't know. That's a tough call. It's a tough call, and that's really at the third overall pick is going to be where things start getting interesting. So, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know up on the up here I have Tkachuk as the third-ranked prospect, but that's not necessarily where he's going to go. I think he'll probably drop a couple spots from that. But I could see, I could definitely see Zadina going third overall. Yeah, especially if Montreal, gets rid of Pacioretty, which it seems like that's going to be the case. I think they're really going to push for Zadina to try and replace him a little bit. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Yeah. Like I mentioned, first pick is probably not going to actually be until the top of the hour. This is kind of just what TV does, right? They say something starts at 6:30, or in this case 6:30, but that's just to get people in their seats and watching and show them advertisements. And then the actual programming doesn't really, or the actual meat of the program doesn't start until half hour later at the top of the hour. So I fully expect Buffalo to be officially on the clock at 7 o'clock Central Time here. So that would be my assumption. All this pre-draft talking from Gary Bettman right now. I got it on mute because I don't feel like booing. Oh, man. So it was reported $15 million is going to be the top amount that players going to get paid starting next year. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and just in time for some big names to become free agents, not only this year but in the coming years. But it's always interesting that we always look at like the dollar amount and it's like, oh my God, every year it's increasing. It's at 15 now, but it's all percentage based. So you look at guys like I'm gonna take for my favorite team, the Blackhawks. You take guys like Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, both have $10.5 million contracts. At the time, they were absolutely huge contracts. And they're still really big contracts. You can definitely argue that Jonathan Toews isn't worth $10 million, but it's nowhere near the level of taking up the amount of salary cap space percentage-wise as it used to. So it's nice that the salary cap keeps going up, and those high contracts, those $10 million contracts, aren't as bad anymore. You got guys like Connor McDavid signing $13 million contracts and stuff like that. So it's always interesting. It's always interesting to see just to see the new contracts come in, and you always got to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. It's like, oh wow, they grossly overpaid. Maybe not. I mean, it's all percentage based. So 15, yeah, I think you're right, Civil. I think 15.9. I don't have the number in front of me. So essentially almost 16 million. That's pretty nuts. Blackhawks 24/7. As I mentioned, I think he's gonna stay with the Islanders. I think Lou Lamoriello. I think that organization is gonna do the most they can to keep him, whether it be a long-term contract or maybe even just a short 2-year thing. I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of other teams making a big enough offer for Tavares, and I don't think it needs to be substantial for Tavares to change cities, go to a different team. It's always tough to uproot your life and everything. I think Tavares wants to stay as an Islander, and if the GM and the organization can convince them that they're heading in the right direction. I mean, Barzal just won the Calder Trophy. There's some promise with the Islanders. It's not overnight, but if they can convince them that they're going the right direction, and Tavares still has plenty great years ahead of him, he definitely can be convinced at staying. So I totally believe that Tavares stays as an Islander, And all these rumors about him going elsewhere are just gonna kind of stay that, just rumors. So, honestly, I think Montreal would be very, very dumb to get rid of their third pick. I think they need the third pick. Honestly, they need. Oh, pick is in for Buffalo. I guess we've started already. So yeah, pick is in, which means we're gonna have Dahlin drafted shortly here. But yeah, I definitely, if I was Montreal, I wouldn't be trading the third pick. Oh, there's a trade. Oh no, okay, that's the Colorado. That's the Colorado trade. So, I wonder if it'd be lovely if I can move that screen more center for me here, but I don't know. That might be more effort than it's worth. We'll see. We shall see. But they're gonna take their sweet time. They got everybody up there. This is kind of like Chicago last year during the draft, just bringing up everybody. Oh, here we go. Now I know how delayed this stream is. So if you guys see stuff well in advance of me, I apologize about that. But selection, I mean, we already know what it is. It's just more about making it official really than anything. There it is. There he is. Rasmus Dahlin going first overall. Here we go. Boom. Look at that. Look at that stuff. Fancy graphics here on this live stream. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not worth paying $30 for one day. Definitely not worth it. Yep. Even my stream is kind of frozen a little bit. That'll happen. I should probably bring it up somewhere else rather than relying on an actual stream. No, I can't do that. Where should I go? I was going to try and do the NHL.com, but NHL.com is a pretty awful website as a web developer myself. Rasmus Dahlin got drafted 1 overall, as per, everyone kind of already knew about that, but personally, I'm a Blackhawks fan. If you can't tell by the things behind me, so yeah, Dahlin to the Sabres. Yep, you got it. You got it. Let's see if let's see if I can refresh this. Maybe starting and stopping. That's IT Tech Support 101 for all you guys, for all you young IT folks out there. See if that works. But it's all about having backups here. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, nope. No. I think I know what I need to do. Is there a... Alright, there we go. This better... I'm hoping this updates without needing to refresh. That would be nice. That would be nice. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oop. Alright, I think my video stream went down. It's alright. That happens. That happens. We still have probably a little bit of time before the Canes select their pick. See if I can find another stream here. Carolina on the clock. Indeed, they are. And, well, I mean, if they don't pick Svechnikov, that will be a complete surprise. Dahlin and Svechnikov have been kind of the 1-2 guys for almost this entire year. That one's not working. There's always going to be... Oh, what's this? What do we got here? Nope. Nope, that's not working. Yeah, there's always going to be issues when you're live streaming. I'm not perfect. If you guys hear crazy sounds, I apologize. I apologize for that. There's a dog barking right now. There's going to be, at some point during this stream, there's going to be a guy, and probably going to be multiple times, there's going to be some guy on his motorcycle just revving it up and just racing down this residential street. So, apologies in advance for that. Come on. Come on. Let's get something here. Well, that's good. That's good that you can't hear the dog because he's kind of annoying right now. I also live like right near an airport, so there's planes fly around too. It's always fun, but that's what it is, you know. Make the best of it, make the most of it. Let's see. Oh, so many streams offline. Oh, there we go, Svechnikov. There he is. I see it popped up. Well, let's update this. Fancy graphics. Boom. There we go. There it is. Svechnikov to the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's it for the the rigged portion of this draft. Now it becomes interesting. Who gets picked starting now? And really any of these guys. Tkachuk, Zadina, Kotkaniemi, I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce it. Dobson, Bouchard. I mean, those guys will probably drop a little bit, or they won't be picked third at least. I see. You know, honestly, I think Montreal. I think Montreal's gonna pick Zadina. I think they're getting Zadina here. Blackhawks. Depends. It depends if somebody falls to him. You know, if yeah, it's really interesting. You know, it actually is really interesting because you'd think with the big need with defensemen for the Hawks, you'd think the Hawks would go defenseman. However, no matter who they pick here, if they do pick a defenseman, if it's Dobson, Bouchard, Hughes, Boqvist, if it's one of those four guys, I don't think they're going to really they're not going to make the impact that the Hawks really need for next season. They're a really good prospect, and they'll be good in the future, but they don't really get that need that they have for next year. So it's a mixture of, do the Hawks try and fill that need the best they can, instead of relying on free agency for defense, and try to look more towards the future and understanding that these guys probably won't step in as much as they want to this season or this next season? Or do they go with a guy like, say, Wahlstrom drops to him, like a pure goal scorer, and saying, you know what, maybe we're just going to outshoot teams. Maybe we're just going to outscore teams. We didn't get a whole lot of puck luck last year. Maybe we're going to try and change that and just win in shootouts. Maybe. Who knows? Try and replace Panarin a little bit. So, I don't know. The number 8 spot is crazy. I would be very, very surprised if the Hawks traded the number 8 pick. I don't think that's happening. And honestly, I don't think that would be smart for them to do either. I think the most likely thing for them to do would probably be trading the 27th pick. But I think the 8th pick, they're actually gonna draft someone. We're gonna get a new Blackhawks player. I'm gonna mute. That was annoying. I just got some pop-up notifications from Windows. I'm gonna mute that. That's dumb. That is dumb. Anyhow, first goalie. It's a good question. First goalie. Maybe the Red Wings. Maybe at 30. That'd be my guess. It's a good question. That's a very good question. There's not really a whole lot of good goalies in this draft, or good goalie prospects at least. So, I'd kind of be surprised if someone took a goalie in the first round. I'll tell you what though. And I don't think he's going in the first round, but whoever picks up Jet Wu is going to get the best name in the draft. That's going to be a solid pickup for whoever, just the name alone. He'll probably go second round. He'll probably go tomorrow, but my goodness, what a name. That is a heck of a name, Jet Wu. Yeah, you never know, you never know what trades might happen too. Sorry. That was graphics malfunction. That'll happen. Yes, you are correct. Double K, you are correct. This is where the draft starts. What does Montreal do here? Number 3, do they trade it? I don't think they do, but that's always a possibility, especially with Montreal and the decisions they tend to make. Come on. Oh, this one's not gonna work. Maybe it will. We'll see. Wait and see. For those who are unaware, I'm trying to actually get the actual draft video stream up going, so I can actually kind of watch it a little bit and keep up with it, but it's not going very well. I assume Stan Bowman would be announcing the pick for the Hawks. Last year he had the entire scouting team come up with him and then handed it off to Taze and Kane. That was because the draft was in Chicago. I'm I'd be very surprised if Scotty Bowman wasn't, or not Scotty, Stan, sorry. Yeah, Scotty Bowman comes up and announces the pick for the Hawks. That would be something. Where did he come from? I wouldn't want to say that name every night. That might be that he might drop. He might drop in the draft just because of that. Not even just Montreal. He might be going out of the top 10 just because of that. Good thing I'm not an announcer. Just imagine how Doc would pronounce it. He'd come up with some super phonetic name of it that's probably not even right, but everyone thinks it will be right because it's Doc. It'll be like, oh, there he is, Montreal, Kotkaniemi, there it is. So yeah, so they didn't trade it. They didn't trade him at all, or they didn't trade that pick. Which, yeah, I thought that would probably be a bad idea for them to do. So, fancy graphics, boom, getting a center. You know, kind of surprises me a little bit. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't, because they do need center depth. They definitely do need center depth, and it's harder to come by centers than wingers. So that makes sense for them. I mean, they had, honestly, whatever guy they picked, can't really go all that wrong. It's just kind of how they feel a certain player fits with the team and organization. So we'll see. Yeah, but even though they got Domi, they still need more centers. Can never have enough quality centers. And you never know. Maybe Domi doesn't even work out for the Canadians, and they have to get rid of him. You know, there's always that aspect to it. So I think it was a good pick for the Canadians there. I think they made a solid choice. So, and now we have the Ottawa Senators, a team that just, oh my gosh, just crashing and burning right now. Do they trade the 4th overall pick for a bag of pucks? That would be my guess. There's a plane going by, just FYI, if you guys can hear that. Yeah, like a couple of years ago with Connor McDavid, when he got drafted by Edmonton, and just like straight face, like, God dang it. But I mean, I think it's working out for it. Or it's working out for Connor. Even though the Oilers, you know, dropped a lot this year, he's the face of the franchise, and he's a type of guy that can carry his team to victory. He's still very young too, so and he's getting paid, so I think it's working out for him. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a stream here. Oh well. It happens. It happens. I got a live updating web version on Sportsnet to keep me up to date. That's the next best thing. Next best thing. Oh my goodness. Schedules came out. There's, at least speaking from a Hawks fan, there's there's 9 games that will be starting at 9 o'clock or later Central Time. Those are going to be rough games. That sucks. West Coast. West Coast people have just the best timing for games, for primetime games. The earliest game start is at 5, in which, yeah, it might suck for work purposes because you're just getting out of work, but games never go super late, so that's awesome. But did we get a guy? Did Tkachuk go to? Did he? It hasn't updated on my end. I'm gonna wait. Oh, you guys are just guessing. All right. This is scaring me. Can't trust you guys. God. I just want to stream. I think the one I was using got taken down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Brady. Yep, there it is. Just came in. Just came in on my end. Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, I didn't think he definitely wasn't going to fall to the Hawks for sure. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of. If he did fall to the Hawks, I wasn't really a big fan of grabbing him. Not really. I don't know. Just the Tkachuks, that family, like that type of player. I just. Ugh. All right, let me update. Let me update this here. Here we go. Fancy graphics. So, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't pay for cable, so I don't get NBC Sportsnet or whatever. So I gotta find some other avenue to watch it. But oh well, beggars can't be choosers, right? But yeah. So man, all right. So who do Coyotes pick? Coyotes. Who'd they go with? Will Zadina drop to the Red Wings? I think if the Coyotes don't pick Zadina here, I think the Red Wings are picking him. That's just my feeling. Yeah, I could definitely see the Coyotes going for defense. You know, Coyotes. I mean, they played really well at the end of the season this past year. If they can get off to a decent start this year, they can make a run for the playoffs for sure. Defense is always welcome. Playing next to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, be a good person to be a mentor for whoever the Coyotes pick here, if it is a defenseman. That'd be pretty solid. Get that guy on the right footing. Well, not only Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but also Hjalmarsson too. Those are just two guys, just two veteran guys that know what they're doing in the league. So I could definitely see Coyotes picking a defenseman. Although, I mean, they still need offensive pieces though, but they could definitely find that. They could definitely find that in free agency. They have plenty of cap space to work with, so I think they're kind of in a situation where they're going to look at whoever they're picking here. They're looking at, how are they going to produce, 2 or 3 years down the road here, rather than this next year. There's a chance this this prospect could play next year up with the NHL club right out of training camp. There's always that possibility, but I think they're really looking for how they are kind of in the near future rather than just immediately. You got to remember, these guys are 17, 18 years old, so they have tons of time to kind of grow into NHL players. So you got to kind of remember that when these guys get drafted. It's kind of why the NHL draft is a bit of a crapshoot in terms of which guys do well and have successful careers and which guys don't. It also depends on the situation, the teams. Some guys just... There's another plane going over. Guys get drafted to a certain team, and if they get drafted to one team, their career might just absolutely take off. But if they get drafted to another team, maybe that situation just doesn't work out the first few years, and their development, their progress just kind of stalls a bit, and they don't end up turning into the type of player that you thought they would turn into. There's different routes that can go depending on the team that these guys get drafted on. So it's always interesting from that aspect. But yeah, what do they have here? Let's see. What we got? Oh my God. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, yeah. I could see them. Oh, did they pick? Sorry about my delayed. You guys are gonna know well before me. I'm just gonna ramble. Yeah, Barrett Hayton. Look at that. Look at you. Well in front of me and other people here. You were just breaking news. You might as well start a Twitter account and break the news for me. I can be your year one subscriber that is just really, really happy following you. Like, this guy knows everything. Barrett Hayton, wow. That is much interesting. I guess looking for a centerman, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go. That's one of those cases where, just depending on how the team thinks that prospect will fit into their system, they're not going to pick everybody right in order or whatever, or how prospects are ranked. It depends on the positioning and what the needs are and everything. So, but yeah, that's kind of surprising. Fancy graphics. Here we go. Boom. No, don't hold off. That's fine. I'm absolutely fine with you saying it. I'll still just speculate anyway. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, you're on the East Coast, so you get news faster than me. I have to wait. I get that 1 hour delay. How's the future like? Ah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Tkachuk could go that whole college hockey route if he doesn't want to play for the Senators. It's interesting. All right, so here we go. We got the Red Wings, the Canucks, and then the Hawks. We're almost there. We're almost to the promised land. Yeah, I think Tkachuk is a great name, isn't it? It's a family name. It's a established name in hockey. It's just one of those. It's got that silent letter, just kind of fancy like that, but it's got that Tkachuk. It's got that kind of that grit kind of thrown in there. You know, like a certain cuss word, you know. But and his game, their games kind of go that way too. Fit the name. Fit the name. Oh yeah, I think yeah. I want to say Red Wings go Zadina here, but I've been wrong with basically everything so far. my prediction skills are not the best. I know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah. Do the Red Wings have any blue chip D prospects? It's a good question. I don't know. I am not all that versed in the Red Wings prospects. I'm trying to see if I can find any here. They still have Mike Green too. Well, Trevor Daley, Mike Green, Nicholas Kronwall, Jonathan Erickson. They got some old guys on defense. That's for sure. I can't believe the Red Wings got a first, a second, and a third for Tatar. Oh my goodness. Like, if it was any other team than Vegas, that would just been like, what are you doing? But Vegas had so many draft picks that like they could do it, and Red Wings just took advantage of it. It's nuts, absolutely nuts, that they got those 3 picks for him. It's gonna help the Red Wings. They need those picks. They need to get guys. They need to, because you can never really have enough. Good quality prospects, especially if you're rebuilding, because you can use that to, you know, obviously competition to actually get spots on the team, but then also, you know, you can use those guys as trade pieces if you really want to upgrade the team if you're on the cusp of playoffs. So that's always cool. Zadina. So we got, yeah. All right. So that would be. It comes. I'm gonna wait for it officially. I believe you guys, but I'm gonna wait for it officially kind of show up for me. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So all right, there we go. First time I'm right today. I mean, it's not really that hard to be right on that, but I'll take it. So. Cheers to everyone. Let's do that fancy graphic thing while we're at it. All right. Oh yeah. Almost there. I got the Canucks. They gotta go D, right? You gotta go D, or they're gonna. They gotta go D. What if Wahlstrom drops to the Hawks? What if he drops to the Hawks? Do they pick him? Do the Hawks pick him, or do they go defense? At the deadline, Tatar went to Vegas for a first, a second, and a third round draft pick. So the Detroit Red Wings have another draft pick, number 30, later on this round. From that Tatar trade, they got those 3 picks for just Tatar. That's nuts. What do they do here? What do the Canucks do? That one's not working. Oh, I'm gonna be. Yeah. Like I said, if it's any other team than Vegas, who just had an abundance of picks, it would have been very much an overpayment, and it still is, but it doesn't. It's not an overpayment that really affects the team that's overpaying. Like, Vegas was rich enough in draft picks to afford to overpay. You know, it's like leaving $100 tip at a fast food restaurant. It's like, yeah, why? That's quite the overpayment on tip there. But you can afford it if you're, Bill Gates or something like that. So it is what it is. Detroit did a good job taking advantage of that situation. Load. Come on. No, I don't think that's happening. Boo. Yeah, it's going to be... This whole stream is just going to be me futzing around trying to find an actual stream. And that's going to... I'm going to get one to show up like right as the draft ends. That's gonna be what happens here. And that's a guarantee for you. Oh, I got one. Pick is in. I got a stream working. It's working now. I got it. Here we go. I know I'm not gonna guess. I see it's in. I'm not gonna guess. I'll just let it happen. My guess is that it's a defenseman. I guess that's my guess. I don't know which one. I don't really care which one. I think it's a defenseman though. Jim Benning announcing the Canucks pick. And Vancouver Canucks select Quinn Hughes, defenseman out of Michigan. All right, there you go. Quinn Hughes. It's a good pick. He's a bit small. He's 5'10", 170. He's not a big guy, but he skates really well. And if you're gonna have a small guy like that, I guess I really shouldn't be talking because of how Alex DeBrincat did for us this year. But if if you're gonna, especially for a defenseman, because you need a guy that can play the body, especially if he's working down low. You need a guy, who's strong, and size kind of matters a little bit. But he's an elite skater, and that definitely helps. So, and that's really why he's been rated so high. So, all right, Canucks, you get the fancy graphics now. All right, here we go. Blackhawks on the clock. This is what we've all been waiting for, right? It's what I've been waiting for. This is the first top 10 pick the Hawks have had in a decade. This is nuts. It's crazy. I'm so used to being at end of first rounds, or maybe not even the first round, and being like, I guess whoever we pick, hopefully they work out. It's interesting though. It's Hughes was definitely one of those guys. I thought if he dropped to the Hawks, there was a really good chance they'd take him. Now I think the Hawks have some interesting. They have an interesting choice here. They have an interesting choice, and honestly, you know, if the Hawks have somebody in mind, if they have somebody in mind, or they're like indifferent about some guys here, and they could take like any of 3 guys or any of 4 guys, do they trade down to maybe like the 10 spot or a team like 10 or 11 spot where a team maybe looking to try and move up and grab someone? You got the Islanders at 11 and 12, you know, so they're picking a back-to-back. Maybe they move up to 8 to grab someone. That's a possibility. I don't really think that's gonna happen, but I see it as a possibility. If a team like that makes a call to the Blackhawks and they're like, you know what, we like a lot of these guys and we would be fine with any of these guys, you know, any of these 4 guys on our mind. We can drop down a couple spots and still be guaranteed to get one of these guys and then, you know, gain another, you know, draft pick or something out of it. It's a possibility. It's kind of similar situation to last year where the Hawks had the 26th pick and they were going to pick Jokiharju at that spot, but they knew that the team, you know, the teams behind them weren't going to pick him. And so they traded with Dallas and moved down just a couple spots and still got Jokiharju and then ended up getting another pick out of it. You know, there's always that stuff in play. At the number 8 spot, it's a little bit... Oh, we got trade news? Oh, no, that's just Avalanche. Stop showing the same trade. Jeez. All right, pick is in for the Blackhawks. So it looks like they didn't trade, but I guess can't be too sure about that. So it looks like we're going to get a player. You know what? I'm going to go with... I think the Blackhawks are getting Wahlstrom. It's just a feeling I have. As much as it seems like we should pick a D-man with the needs that we have, I'm kind of thinking we go with a guy who just is an absolute pure goal scorer and let Kane get him the puck. And he just, you know, we got the Panarin connection. You know, once again. This is my big moment. Let me have this one. Let me have this one. I thank you. I thank you for your restraint. We're getting a bunch of guys coming up for the Hawks here. There's Stan. Oh, Quenneville's up too. Looks like just Quenneville's smiling, so maybe he's maybe he had a little bit of a say in this pick. Maybe he's like, this guy is somebody I really like. See who it is here. Stan, make me proud. Make me proud. Come on, just say it, Stan. Just say it. Adam Boqvist. All right. Okay, cool. Adam Boqvist. Honestly, all right, Adam Boqvist. Cool. You know, honestly, I was gonna be happy. I really couldn't have been, you know, mad at really any of these guys here. There's a couple of these guys that just, whoever you're gonna pick, like these top 10 picks, you're gonna pick somebody who's good. So I didn't really have somebody on my mind that I really wanted the Hawks to pick. I was like, I could see them picking, you know, any, you know, bunch of different options, and I'm kind of the type of guy who yeah, I'm not one of those guys who boos draft picks. Like, I like to see guys play and, you know, see them actually on the ice with the team and kind of judge them at that point. I'm not going to judge a prospect or a pick, you know, on draft night because I'm not a professional scout. These kids are 17, 18 years old. You know, things can change. Things will change. So let's get some fancy graphics for the Blackhawks. Adam Boqvist going to the Hawks. Oh, looking so good in that sweater. Oh yeah. There we go. Looking good. All right, New York Rangers. New York Rangers. Wahlstrom. Well, Wahlstrom is the purest goal scorer in this draft. He's gonna score goals. The knock on him, the knock on him really is that he's not really good at necessarily like creating his own opportunities in terms of like getting to a puck and just you know, outdoing. Like, he's not like a Connor McDavid who just will be able to race to a puck, grab it, let's shake off a defender and score somehow. You know, he doesn't, like, he needs people to kind of set him up a little bit. He needs a guy to make an assist to him, but he gets that and he's gonna pot it. He's gonna score the goal. Like, he's just got an elite shot. He's got Alex Ovechkin type of properties. So I think looks like Quinville has a smile on his face here. Good to see that mustached man smiling. So yeah, Wahlstrom he's interesting in that regard. There was a lot of really good defensive prospects high in this draft, and Wahlstrom. And there's a couple, you know, there's some centers and wingers already taken, but Wahlstrom was kind of like the big name in terms of the flashy, I can score goals type of guy. So I think that resonates a lot with fans because, come on, fans like goal scorers, right? We gravitate towards them. So, you know, as time goes on, we appreciate the Jonathan Toews, the Patrice Bergerons, the guys who maybe don't score. You know, they're not going to be winning the scoring titles, but they're so important to the team. They do so many other good things that it doesn't show up right away for fans, but eventually fans will recognize them. Wahlstrom's one of those other types of players where people are like, goals! Yay! I like those. Favorite Blackhawks player? Oh, Rangers pick is in? Yes, Rangers pick is in, it looks like. You can feel free to spoil it for me. Until the 27th pick, where the Blackhawks pick again, don't spoil it there. But otherwise, feel free. Because my stuff is gonna lag anyhow, and I don't really care all that much. Favorite Blackhawks player? It's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, honestly, as maybe not favorite in terms of like because of his personality or anything, but I think in just terms of as a player, as a beer leaguer myself, who's not very good at hockey, I try to take the traits of the game, or traits of the player as of Jonathan Toews, to try and replicate that. So I like Toews a lot. I like leadership a lot. He's not a flashy guy anymore. He's not as great of a two-way player as he once was. But as a beer leaguer who's not the greatest at scoring or anything like that, I like to play a more kind of defensive game a little bit and try and help my team out that way. So I kind of connect with Toews. So And since he's been the captain for a decade here, so I kind of have to go with him. But yeah, I mean, there's so many Blackhawks players I love. And Keith is up there for sure. It sucks he can do some dumb stuff sometimes though, but yeah, Keith. And as poor as Seabrook has played lately, Seabrook's an awesome guy. Definitely like him. Kane, I mean, it's Kaner. Come on, right? Panarin was just a joy to watch when he was on the Hawks. Oh, just for those 2 years, just his smile was just infectious. It was just so much fun watching him. Vitaly Kravtsov? I can't pronounce that name. Rangers picking up a right winger. That's an interesting pick. That is an interesting pick, as you mentioned, he's still in the KHL for another year or so. It's interesting. Rangers are interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he went over Wahlstrom. Well, it looks like, I mean, you'd kind of say Wahlstrom's falling a little bit, but so you could say that with Bouchard and Dobson too. You know, those guys. One of those three guys is going to be falling out of the top 10, and those were guys who were like basically locks to be top 10 draft picks by pretty much everyone. Doesn't mean that they're going to be bad players at all. It's all about how teams think a certain player is going to fit their mold. And obviously the Rangers think Vitaly's a good fit for him. We'll just have to see. 6'2", 170. He certainly has the frame. He's definitely got to put on some a little bit of muscle or a little bit of weight there, but that'll come with as he kind of grows up a little bit more. So all right, let's do some fancy graphics because I've pushed it off enough. There we go. Yeah, Oilers definitely need a defenseman. They're gonna go with either Dobson or Bouchard. Bouchard is a interesting guy. It seems like a lot of people are either really high on him or like the absolute opposite. There's like no middle ground with Bouchard. He's a very strong guy though. He's the type of guy that can outmuscle you. For sure. He's a guy who's really shot up the prospect rankings just within the last year or so. It's he's kind of fairly new to the whole being near the top type of thing. So yeah, and I think you're right. I think in terms of why Bouchard basically climbed up the rankings as much as he did, I think people just realized he'd be very NHL ready. I think the question more is along the lines of how high is his ceiling? Is he NHL ready but like already kind of near what his peak is going to be, or is he a type of guy who he's not NHL ready right now, but we don't need him to be NHL ready, so we can have him develop a couple more years, and his ceiling is a lot higher. And he'll break into the NHL a little bit later, but ultimately have a successful and really good career. I think that's kind of the difference between Bouchard and some of the other guys, really. No, feel free to talk. That's why the chat's there, I'm all for it. I'm all for interacting, guys. Feel free. Spam the chat with hockey talk and stuff. It's all good. Just don't spam links and bot stuff, That's all I ask. I'm a simple man. I don't ask much. All I ask for is a stream to work and not get taken down. The Oilers Did the Oilers pick Noel? Noel? I'm seeing that from a different chat. I'm seeing that from a different chat. I don't know. I don't know how much I trust it yet. That's kind of word on the street. Oh, Evan Bouchard. See, this is why I stick to this chat here, because this chat at least is right. These guys are spreading rumors, fake news. Fake news. Evan Bouchard to the Oilers. Solid pick for them. They definitely need a defenseman. He is definitely a guy who can step in right away and help them out. We'll see how much he grows though. Yeah, I don't know how sold I am on him, but he's a guy that's he's an NHL player, so he's a good hockey player. Let's put it that way. But all right, Edmonton, it's your turn for the fancy graphics. Yeah, that other Noel wouldn't have made that. Would be quite the reach for a guy like Noel. I didn't really want to believe it, but I'm not. Please no spelling the next two picks. Oh, the Islanders back-to-back picks. Do they trade one of them? I think. Yeah, honestly, I think they could definitely trade one of them. I think they trade the 12th pick. That's my guess. Somebody to a team that's looking to trade up. Maybe, I mean, it could be... What team could look to move up here to the 12th spot? Just for, hypothetical situation here. Which team would want to do that? Yeah, wouldn't that be something? They get Tavares, they re-sign Tavares and get him a guy like Wahlstrom, and those two just go on a tear. The tandem, the Islanders tandem. Wouldn't that be something? That'd be a nifty line mate for Tavares. Be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. Oh, there's people who picked the... I think somebody made that prediction. Capitals and Golden Knights. But I think that was more of like a joking prediction. They still picked it or whatever, but I think I saw that. And obviously there's people that picked the Golden Knights to win it all because they won... Or, yeah, because we knew about the whole, Obviously, the Golden Knights didn't win the cup, but we knew people picked them to make it that far because we knew about the whole casinos offering to buy back potential winning tickets for half for a small value, and by small value is like $10,000 or something like that. Oh, man. a good thing they only do one round tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day, though. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day with all the other rounds, 2 through 7. I will not be live streaming tomorrow, though. I've got too much yard work to do. Been putting it off too long. But I wasn't going to be surprised if the Penguins three-peated this year. They really, I mean, the team they had last year, I don't know how they won last year. I don't understand it. They somehow won with having absolutely nobody on defense. And then they didn't lose anybody for this year and got some guys healthy and thought, well, you know what? If they could do it the year when they were completely injured, they could do it again. But it's a lot. It's tough. It's tough to win back to back. It's super tough to win back to back to back. That's just a lot of hockey. That's just long seasons. So it's just really impressive that the Penguins and the Hawks have been able to do what they've done in the last decade, winning multiple cups. It's super hard to do. They've made it look easy. It's not. It's pretty incredible what they've done. Wahlstrom, okay, I see it. Sorry if I'm late here. I just saw they picked Wahlstrom. So yeah, Tavares and Wahlstrom taking over the league. Book it, mark it down. Those two are just gonna co-own the Rocket Richard Trophy next year. Mark it down. So then, yeah, so now what do they do with the 12th pick? Do they trade it or do they go defense? Get a guy like Dobson? Dobson's kind of fallen, isn't he? Isn't he? Some team's going to be pretty happy with him falling down into their laps. And that team could be the Islanders. Just imagine if the Islanders pick another guy here instead of trading this pick away. Just imagine these two guys, Wahlstrom and whoever, just kind of locker room banter. Wahlstrom's gonna be like, "Hey, guess who got picked before you? It was one pick." Like Islanders could have easily just flipped those. You know they. It's not like they had to worry about another team picking one of the guys they wanted, right? So, although you do prioritize a guy because you could always just get a call for that second pick. So you want to at least grab the guy you want and then be able to, have the options of trading it away if you get a great offer. So I guess it would make sense for you to still draft in the order you want. Best guy you want, you know? Yeah, what are they gonna do? Dobson, you think Dobson? I'm kind of leaning towards that as well. And they can thank Calgary for this pick. Yeah, what is Calgary gonna do? They don't have a pick till the 4th round. Oh, now I don't even think they don't have the pieces to move up to the 1st round. Wow. Oh man. Oh, Calgary. Man. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I missed this. All right, cool. Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. Finally, Dobson gets picked. So Wahlstrom's going to be in the locker room, and he's going to go up to Noah and he's like, hey, I got picked before you. No big deal. That's going to be his chirp to Noah for the rest of their time together in New York. Dallas Stars, here we go. The hometown team here picking. See, it's going to be interesting to see how the crowd reacts to this pick. The local team, the Dallas Stars. Been pretty uneventful so far in terms of. We got all those rumors about possible trades for the top picks there, and just haven't seen any come through. Been pretty quiet on that front. I didn't want to mention because I missed this, but so yeah, Coyotes released their alternate jersey, the 3rd jersey, back to Kachina jerseys. Such great jerseys. They're gonna look so good wearing those whenever they do. I actually just recently, one of my recent previous videos, my mail time video, actually a Kachina jersey, a Coyotes jersey came in, and I got that. It looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous in person too. Blackhawks. I don't think they're going to be getting a 3rd jersey this year. Actually, it's highly unlikely they get a 3rd jersey this year. But they're playing in the Winter Classic, so they're going to get an alternate jersey for that. They're going to get a throwback jersey for that. Whether or not they wear them more than once, who knows? But yeah, Blackhawks won't be getting a 3rd jersey this year. I'd be very, very surprised if they did. But that doesn't mean they won't get one for, the year after that. Some form of their black jersey will eventually probably come back, but it's not going to be this year. It'll be interesting to see what the Winter Classic jersey will be, though. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a dark jersey because they're at home, right? Playing at Notre Dame. They're the home team. So they'll be dark. I'm guessing, my guess, and I have no connections or anything, and this is just a pure opinion guess. I think we find them go with some form of their barber pole jerseys for the Winter Classic. That would be my guess. But we probably won't find that out until probably sometime in December. So another 6 months from now before we find out what the Blackhawks Winter Classic jerseys are, and same with the Boston Bruins too. Yeah, I think it was always a smart play from Tavares to at least wait to see what happens in the draft here before making a decision. And I mean, obviously he has time, right? He has time to make a decision. It's not something he has to really do right away. You know, he has another week or so before free agency actually begins. So he's got time. And I think Lamoriello really wants to re-sign him. So I think they'll find a way to make it happen. I never really saw Tavares having a high chance of leaving the Islanders. There's always talk every offseason there's always the talk about the top free agent to be, right? This year it just happened to be Tavares, and there's always rumors and stuff like that, and obviously a lot of teams would like to get him, but I think players, more often than not, it takes something like essentially the Ottawa situation to, I think, drive a player away, right? So I think Tavares wants to stay in New York, but he's not gonna take like a massive hometown discount or anything. He's gonna make sure he gets paid fairly what he's worth, right? He's gonna make sure it's smart from a monetary standpoint, but I don't think he's eager to leave either. So, I mean, that's always kind of been my feeling on it. I know I made a video joking about Tavares going to the Blackhawks because of those dumb rumors. Like, there's no way he was ever gonna get close to going to the Blackhawks. That would have been something absolutely stupid. 11.5, honestly, 11.5. 8 years. What was he? He's gonna be 28, 27. He's 27, 28 right now. That'll be till he's 36. I mean, if the cap keeps going up, 11.5 isn't 11.5, or it's not the same percentage of the salary cap as the years goes on. It sounds high right now, that a 36-year-old or a 35 or 34-year-old would be making $11.5 million a year, but I think that would be a decent amount. Yeah, I mean, if the cap keeps going up like that, 11.5 is gonna be fine. He can handle that when he's that old. And it all depends on how well he's producing too. If he's just keeps producing, he's the Marian Hossa and there's no stopping him, and then he unofficially retires due to allergy. Yeah, there's always that, right? You can always go that route. Come on, Dallas, make a pick here. Let's go. I don't care if I'm behind. Oh, all right. There it is. Tie. Got it. Sorry if I was super behind on that. My page wasn't refreshing. That's what I'm going to blame it on. It wasn't my fault. Getting tied, Dellandrea. Something like that. Oh. All right, so we're 13 picks. I haven't said this yet, but seriously, hey, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Seriously, this is pretty cool. This is the first time I've really live streams. Was not expecting to get a whole lot of interaction, but you guys have been pretty cool so far. Hopefully you're enjoying it, getting some entertainment out of this. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. and speculating and everything, and just loving hockey. That's the best part about it, right? That's why we're all here right now. That's why we're all watching this, keeping track of it. It's our communal love for the game. So cheers. Tell you what, though, I'd love it even more if I could actually get a stream that worked for more than 5 minutes. I hate hockey now. It's the worst sport ever. So let's see here. What guy? What do you think? Who do the Flyers go with? Who do the Flyers go with? They are on the clock. Oh, I got a stream. They're still playing the same trade news. Breaking trade news. Avalanche acquire Grubauer and Orpik. Esports. I think they already have esports hockey. They already tried it this year. I think this was like the first year EA NHL had esports, or they had some sort of esport thing going on. I mean, the EA NHL game is not really that great of a game for esports because of just the way that it is. You got games like if you did an esports thing, and you'd have to do like a 6v6. I think it was streamed or something. I can't remember. I didn't really watch it, but I just know there was something. But they just did like 1v1 online play, and like that you bring into effect all the AI and all the. I mean, AI in that game is absolutely atrocious, and or it's scripted to a point and stuff like that. Like if they're gonna do esports, they have to make it so it's like 6v6, right? It needs to. There can't be any AI involved. It's got to be. Everyone's got to be controlled, or they need to do. They just had the thing or the game mode in this past year. The threes. That would be perfect, right? For esports, it'd be. It's similar to like Rocket League is so huge in esports because they do like 3v3, and so if you can get a small number of guys per team and do that and not rely on AI, then you can do something. But otherwise, you also get animations involved, right? Where it's not like you're not like totally controlling the player. So, like that's the thing with all the EA sports games, Madden and NHL and FIFA. Like, there's a reliance on AI and like scripted animations that can affect whether or not you hit the ball or whatever, right? Hit or miss it. And I'm just gonna bring up Rocket League as the sport game to compare it to, because it's kind of the one that it really compares to the most, right? Rocket League is like soccer and hockey kind of mixed into one. But you control the car, but you control it. There's no animation. It's just the car, and you decide how it turns and how it, and it's whether or not you hit the ball, right? So that's the difference. That's what makes it a successful esports. Like, the guys who are controlling it are actually making it happen. Like, it's based on their skill level and not just some random animation or something. Ron Hextall, what are you going to announce here? Flyers. AI esports are the next big thing. We got Joel Farabee, left winger. Okay, Flyers. You do that. You get it. You get that guy. And you also get fancy graphics. U.S. National Development Team. So they're comparing them to Jake Gensel. So basically, Flyers, they just need to get the next Sidney Crosby, and Farabee will be quite the stud. That's really what they're saying here. I mean, they got Claude Giroux. He's pretty darn good, but yeah, he's not quite the caliber player as Sidney Crosby. And I understand the hate for Crosby. I get it. But let's be real. He's an absolutely ridiculously good hockey player. Flyers are another team that's on the upswing here. There's a lot of teams. This is going to be a fun year coming up. There's a lot of teams that are kind of ready to break through, but, you know, it's all like potential, right? We'll see it. We'll see who actually does it. Come on, Quigs. Come on, Quigs. Let's not do that. Let's keep it PG in here. PG-13. I'll allow PG-13. You can bring it to the Discord if you're gonna do that. Who'd you want? Who'd you want, Quigs? I'm curious. I'm curious to know who you were hoping for. You got the Panthers on the clock. Advanced stats. Yeah, we haven't seen any trades yet for these picks. I'm actually quite surprised we haven't seen at least one trade for one of these picks. It's been pretty boring in that regard. In terms of advanced stats, they're slowly making their way into hockey. The thing with baseball is there's a lot of like one-on-one scenarios all over baseball, like all over that game. So it's very easy to like use statistics to compare those one-on-one battles and see how a player does in so many different situations. Like you can compare it a lot, and there's a lot of tracking involved there. With hockey, the tracking still needs to be implemented in terms of like where the puck is and everything. Like there's not that fine type of tracking. There's some, but not like as much as you need to really get into advanced stats or have advanced stats actually make sense or mean anything in that regard. Yeah, Corsi is the cutting edge. We're gonna get Money Puck. There's gonna be a Money Puck movie one of these days, all featuring Corsi stats. That'd be pretty funny. Not gonna lie, I'd probably go and watch it. As long as it has Brad Pitt in it and what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Quigs. It's Corsi. I get what people are trying to say with Corsi, but it's like you can make it say whatever you want it to say, really. That's kind of the thing with it. And you can say that with a lot of statistics. For a long time, plus minus used to be a big thing, and we know how poorly that really, or how little that actually means to comparing players and how they actually do. Gijeri? Is that his name? Denisenko? I'll wait for it to officially be shown on my screen here, but I believe you. I believe you. There it is. Maybe Sportsnet needs to just start updating without needing a refresh. It used to. It was doing that just great not too long ago, and now it's just lagging. It's not doing what I need it to do. All right. Panthers, you get some fancy graphics now. That's why I only have the first initial. I was like, I'm not gonna spell out everyone's first names here. We'll just do last names. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The Islanders, 11th and a 12th pick. Like, those are two good spots. Like, they weren't top 10 spots, but you knew they were still gonna get some solid players, and they essentially got two guys that pretty much fell into their laps, right? Guys that were projected to go a lot higher than they did, and Wahlstrom and Dobson. Kind of just fell into their laps, so they made out pretty well with the 11th and 12th pick. It was pretty, yeah. Islanders, good draft so far. I think they still have. Do they still? No, never mind. They don't. I thought they maybe had another pick in the first round later on, but they don't. Yeah, they got Trotz too. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Islanders. Good steps forward here for the Islanders for sure in the recent days. They got the second pick as a trade from Calgary as part of the Travis Hamonic deal. As we all know, Calgary doesn't have a pick till the 4th round, so good on them for doing that. And then still missing the playoffs. Calgary. Like, there's Ottawa level of bad, and then on another plane there's like Calgary, what are you doing hockey related wise bad. Like, they're two different spectrums, but they're like in their own spectrums they're both equally just insane. Oh my goodness. I just want a stream that'll work for more than 5 minutes. Is that too much to ask? I just want something that works. First world problems, you know? Right? Oh, now we get it. Now it's working again for another 5 minutes. So we got the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche. A team that more than doubled their point total from last year into this year. End up making the playoffs. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. They went from what, 47 points to 96 or 95? Something like that. Yeah, Quigs, I don't have cable. That's the problem. That's why NBC Sports isn't working for me. And then every other stream I find is basically every other stream I find gets taken down or just legs away. But yeah, Zero, I'm using NHL streams. Which usually works pretty well. It's the bad part about being a Blackhawks fan. There's so many nationally televised games. I know. Boo-hoo. But like they get blacked out, right? So like even though I pay for NHL.TV, I don't get it. No, this isn't. This is a Hockey Hall of Fame shirt that I got. I was in Toronto in early May and went to the Hockey Hall of Fame while I was there and picked this up, this overpriced shirt. Although it's very comfortable. It's a very nice shirt. Don't get me wrong. But you always have to overpay for the merchandise shops at tourist locations. What if the Avalanche make another trade here? Or maybe I'm just really behind. What if they trade... What if the Avalanche trade Grubauer back to the Capitals for a first-round pick? For the 31st pick? Now I'm just being crazy. Now I'm just being nuts. I honestly don't know. This was like, I just grabbed stuff that I liked. I was like, this is probably the only time I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I'm just gonna grab stuff and it'll go on my credit card. I'll pay it off. That was pretty much what it was. I didn't really. It was under $100. That's all I knew. Because if it wasn't, then I wasn't buying it. But yeah, it was way overpriced. Martin Kaut, eh? From the Czech Republic. Credit card is free money. Right you are, Ken. Right you are. Avalanche. Jeez. It's nuts. They still have they made the playoffs this year and still had the 16th overall pick. Does that make sense? Oh, I guess were they a first team? I guess that would be the I guess that's the last. So they got the best pick out of all the playoff teams. So that's what it is. It's crazy. It makes sense now that you think that 16 teams make the playoffs. The Czech Republic dude. He's gonna check everyone into the boards. That's his main goal. That's what he's gonna do for the Avalanche. 6'2", 176. It's a tall guy. He's got the frame. Add some more pounds to that. Get up to 6'2", 185, 6'2", 190. That'd be pretty nice. Pretty nice size there. Probably eventually get to that. These guys are 17, 18 years old. They've got room to get into a NHL level training regimen and pack on some muscle. Do what Patrik Laine did. He gained what did he gain? He gained 20 pounds or something like that for this year. It's nuts. You look at his rookie season and then this season, he looks like a completely different person. He went from this skinny guy to all right, here we go. I'm gonna score a bunch of goals. That was Patrik Laine for you. New Jersey Devils. Featuring MVP winner Taylor Hall. This is going to be an interesting year for the Devils, you know, because they really, honestly, if Taylor Hall doesn't carry that team on his back, they don't make the playoffs. So it's not like they're an up and coming team, but like they can't just expect to make the playoffs again next year. All right, they're still kind of rebuilding a little bit, but they kind of have to. Things have to go their way, and Hall has to have a really good season again for them to make the playoffs again. It'll be interesting to see how they do this offseason, what they do. Did they was the Coyotes the only team that introduced a third jersey, or did I know the Ducks have one coming up, but I don't think they announced it tonight. Thinking Ty Smith here. You're reading it. I'm reading. Somebody's saying that the Canes... Oh, Canes unveiled their third jersey. That's right. Forgot about them. Just show it. Is that... Okay. Yeah, it's just a rehash of their warning flag. Yeah, it's a remix of their old black third jersey mixed with their old home jerseys with like the faux, with the outline of the yoke and stuff. Kind of saw that coming. They have like the World Cup of Hockey stripes in there too. It's interesting. And they got the warning stripe again too. Oh, they added a second flag now. So they actually have so the Carolina Hurricanes actually modified their oh my god, that looks so weird. That is such a weird looking logo. Oh my goodness. My goodness, that is crazy. That's nuts. Ty Smith. My stream's like going in and out right now. Yeah, Ty Smith. Spokane from the WHL. Spokane. 5'11", 175 defenseman. A little bit on the smaller side for NHL. For a defenseman, but he can make up for that with speed. I mean, it doesn't mean that small guys can't be successful defensemen. You look at Ryan Ellis; he's very successful, and he's a pretty small guy, relatively speaking. So they can definitely work out, especially if they have the work ethic and the drive and the hustle and all those other things. Size isn't really everything, but that's kind of what separates him from all those top defensemen in this draft class. I'm gonna try and bring up that Canes third jersey here for you. Let me see if I can find a. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so hold on. let me get a better source here for this. Oh God. Stop it. Sorry. Things are dumb. Computers suck sometimes. I fixed it, Zier. Calm down. All right. There you go. They added a second flag. Their old warning flag logo had just one of those flags on it, but it technically wasn't correct because the warning flag, like an actual hurricane warning, is 2 flags. So they updated that. It just looks really weird. It just looks super weird. That's really all I have to say about that, though. Now we got Pierre McGuire just laughing his face off right now. Columbus Blue Jackets, make a pick. Oh, they have. Never mind. The only reason I opened up Firefox there instead of Chrome was because I have a crap ton of stuff on my bookmarks bar in Chrome. I was like, and I never really used Firefox, so I wanted to get like more of a clean look for you guys. It didn't really work out how I planned, but I have no regrets about it. Yeah, the new version of Firefox is pretty nice. Yeah, they really sped it up. That's a lot. Seems like it's a lot faster than Chrome a lot of the times. It's pretty nice, but like all my stuff is on Chrome, and I'm so just used to it. I like Chrome DevTools a lot more than Firefox. It's really the only thing preventing me from moving over. Quigs, who told you? Stop it. Spreading that stuff. I got an image to maintain, you know? He's totally right, by the way. Oh, darn you, Mike. How dare you? How dare you? Can never trust you. Zier does make a good point. Breaking news, trade news. It's the same Avalanche trade that they've been doing all night. So we are more than halfway through with this first round. Liam Foudy? Liam Foudy, eh? Surprised he went higher. It's interesting. It's interesting. The Blue Jackets must like him a lot if he's going that high. It's very interesting. Who will the Flyers pick at 19? You know what? I think they trade that pick away, Quigs. I think they make that trade that you wanted them to make at number 12. You know, that's one of the great equalizers, though, right? Skating. Like that's one of those things you can't really train to get all that better at. You're either at least at this point in your development, once you hit a certain age, like you're either a really good skater or you're not. Like you can't just take some guy. Like you can't take, you can't take one of these prospects, like a slower guy, and train him and he'll become a skater like Connor McDavid. It just doesn't work that way. Like it's one of those traits, one of those skills that you can only really train so much of. You can only be so fast or so skillful skating. So a guy like Foudy, who's a really good skater, that can make up for a lot of other deficiencies. It's a lot easier to work on like stick handling and hockey IQ. Those things are easier to train than to become like an elite skater. So it's interesting. And it's still interesting it went as high as he did. It's interesting it went at 18. But like I said, Columbus must have really liked what they saw from him and the interviews they had. So yeah, we'll see how he does. We'll see how he fits into that ball club. All right, we're gonna have to excuse me. I gotta get another beer here. And I swear to you, this live stream is not presented by Labatt Blue. I swear they're not paying me. That's true. You're right. You're right. It is a Labatt. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I've screwed up. Definitely should have had a beer break graphic primed. That'll have to be something I add for future live streams. Hey, at least I have a fridge within this office. It is literally like 5 feet away. I just have to go like around my desk. Maybe I could move it behind me. I could probably move it. Maybe it's something I'll do at some point. See how lazy I am. See how much I really want to work and do something like that. No beer shelf. Hey, my shelves can evolve. They can change. They're not set in stone. Microwave. You know what? Honestly, I shouldn't even use the rest of my house. I should just get everything into this room. I'll bring in a couch. I'll bring in put a bed in here somehow. I'll put a mattress lying on the floor. Actually, I don't even need one. I'll just use the couch. It'll be a sleeper sofa. That's funny. That is funny. Flyers. Quigs, what are the Flyers doing? Get a fire pit. I can't get a fire pit in the middle of the room. That means I have to get rid of this desk. The desk is literally like in the middle of this room. Oh, pick is in. Well, you never know. Maybe it's a pick and trade. One of those like sign and trade type things. Like Eli Manning getting drafted by the Chargers and getting traded right away to the Giants. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe the Flyers are playing 4D hockey right now. You never know. Jay O'Brien is the word on the street, and by that I mean the word in the chat, and also the official word that I just got from Sportsnet. J. O'Brien. Elon Manning. Elon Musk Manning. Eli Musk. J. O'Brien. So you got So Flyers went all forwards with their two first-round picks. It's interesting. That is very interesting. Where the heck is O'Brien even at? That is... Oh, this is a failure on my part. Ah, all right, I got it. I got it. Don't you worry. There it is. Look at that. It's all good. Yeah, but I needed in my rankings. I don't even remember where my rankings were. He was number 34 in my rankings. My ranking, I just pulled like some random ranking thing from like the latest June rankings and just put them in my own data. My own list that I could call from for this graphic overlay. One of these days, when I'm not pressed for time, I'll make this thing where it can use like an API or something to grab all this prospect data. But I just didn't. I didn't have the time for it. I mean, these guys are basically all high school age quigs. They're all like senior age. It's just I don't know. Yeah, O'Brien just wasn't like, he wasn't in like a juniors program. He literally was playing at a high school rather than like in the OHL or WHL or whatever. So that's why he wasn't really scouted all that much compared to the other guys. But going back to those like third jerseys, the Ducks are getting a new third jersey. Actually, there's a bunch of teams getting third jerseys, but it'll be a while probably until they're all revealed. But I'm very interested to see what the Ducks do, because they really should just go back to that whole Mighty Ducks look. That's such a superior look to them, to what they have right now. Can you even pronounce that, Zier? Trelhatten? Actually, I think I just pronounced it for you. I don't even know if that's right. I'm just going to assume it is. I'm just assuming I'm that good. They're the farthest team east. They're the closest team to him. Or because Franz Nielsen. That too. Actually, yeah, I don't think they are the farthest team east. I was just making stuff up. Probably farthest eastern U.S. team. Being in Long Island. It's a good question. All right, Kings. What are you doing? What are you doing, Kings? Bring up your Bring up your posse here. Make a pick. Let's go. Boston. Boston is farther east. I'm trying to think of my my geography here. How does the U.S. Is the U.S. like? I thought it goes like in. You could always pull up the Google Maps, the Googles, the Googs. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah. For some reason I always think Boston and Massachusetts is south of New York. You're right. It's definitely Boston. Made me look like an idiot. Yeah, Zero, how are you feeling about that that Dahlin pick? You think it was the right pick at number 1 overall? Are you excited for him to be on the Sabres? I don't know if I live. I just kind of exist, you know? Just kind of here. I don't really go out east all that much. I'm more of a western dude, you know? If I travel somewhere, it's usually out west. Kapari? Kapari! It's like a punch-in Street Fighter saying Kapari! Yeah, Chicago, I like visiting Chicago. Probably wouldn't mind living there either, but not with the price of things, you know. So that's always really what it comes down to. It's a huge city though. It's a big city. I don't know if I could live in a big city. It's like too much. It's just too much. I like to get away. I like to be able to go somewhere where I could grab cheap beer, you know. I live in Milwaukee, which is like just 2 hours north of Chicago. Milwaukee's a good size city for me. I like the size. You still have like the urban amenities, like the things to do and stuff like that, but it's not like overwhelming big, right? You can still get away and yeah, I like, hey, cheap beer is good. Well, cheap good beer. Let's put it that way. Cheap decent beer. Definitely Wisconsin definitely has that. It's a definite plus for this state. Brewers are looking good. Are they? I haven't actually checked the score for tonight. I know they're playing St. Louis. Boo, St. Louis. No, St. Louis is winning 1-0, it looks like, in the 4th. Yager or Covey? Like now or peak? Because I'll go Yager all the way if it's peak. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to specify there. Well, yeah, but considering Yager can't even play in this league anymore. Like he couldn't make it on the Flames anymore. Like you're either picking a guy who can probably play in the NHL in Kovalchuk, or Jágr, who's playing over for his own team that he owns over in the Czech Republic. So, you gotta go Koval. Gotta go Kobe. But if you're talking primes, it's Jágr. Absolutely Jágr if you're talking primes. I don't even know how good Jágr would even be on just playing the power play nowadays. Like, it would, like, maybe it'd still work. He's 40 years old. He's over 40. He's older than that. It's like 40. He's like 44 or something like that. He's matured like fine wine for too many years. He's too fine. Ryan Merkley, defenseman, 21st to San Jose. All right, San Jose, fancy graphics for you. $46 years old. Yeah, I knew he was like right around kind of 45. I couldn't remember if he was like one below it or one above it. Yeah, he's 46. Like, at a certain point, like, I don't care how good you are. Like, age just catches up, especially nowadays. Nowadays, like, there's so many young, like, good young players entering the league, and the league is just becoming faster and faster every year. When Jágr, when he was in his prime 90s, it was still kind of a little bit of a clutch and grab game, a bit slower game. Like, at a certain point, he's, especially at the age of 46, he's just not going to be able to keep up at today's game anymore. So, of course, Gordie played at 52. It was a completely different era, and it was Gordie Howe. Jágr or Lemieux? Lemieux. There's people that argue Lemieux. I mean, you could make a solid argument that Lemieux was a better player than Gretzky. He was an absolute. Lemieux just had the body. He's just a wrecking ball. He just dominated. But he just the back issues and the cancer and everything. Just imagine if he never had that. Those issues, he'd be easily talked about as, like, there would be a legit discussion of whether or not, or which person should have the nickname the Great One. Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, but Gretzky just because of how things played out. But Gretzky's insane. Gretzky was insane. It's just the numbers he put up just don't even make sense. Ottawa Senators, what are they going to do here? Who'd they pick earlier? They picked Tkachuk. That's right. They picked Tkachuk. Yeah, like the whole, like, those point totals. Like, we're lucky if a guy breaks 100 nowadays. Well, maybe not this past year, but, like, in prior years, because we had a lot of scoring this past year, but in recent prior years, we were lucky if somebody hit, over 100 points. back then you had guys regularly over 100 points. Like, you had to be at least over 100 to even be in the discussion. So what do the Senators do here? What do they do here? Do they trade? Do they trade this pick? What if they trade the 22nd pick here, pick 22 and Bobby Ryan's contract to some other team? To the Calgary Flames. So the Flames get into the first round. That's my what if here. Yeah, we haven't seen a trade yet. We haven't seen a trade yet in this first round. We had that one trade from the Colorado Avalanche and the Washington Capitals, and that's kind of been it. Ah, there it is. Right on the dot, right on the money. We get that trade. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, yep. Oh, no. So we got, all right, so all right. Everything should be updated now in my graphics. So the Rangers have the 22nd pick, and the Ottawa Senators now have the 26th pick, and also the 48th. But I don't have the 48th pick in this graphic because this is only for the first round. So we're New York Rangers on the clock, and they're gonna grab somebody. They're gonna reach. I hope they pick Jet Wu. They're gonna reach for Jet Wu just for the name. That's my hope. That's my prediction. Rangers picking Jet Wu. 22 overall. Complete reach. Yeah, it makes sense for made sense for Ottawa to trade that pick away. Especially if there wasn't anybody they necessarily really wanted. Drop down, get another pick, especially if they're expecting to lose some guys, get some more picks. Jet Wu is the best name in this draft. He's like one of those create a character names. And whatever team gets him is going to be so much better off because of it. I almost hope the Blackhawks take him in at the 27th pick. Not because of his skills or anything. I just want the name. I just want the name to be part of the Blackhawks organization. Is that too much to ask? Really? Keandre Miller, Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin. Some people are thinking he could be a big steal in this draft, whoever gets him. And if the Rangers really wanted him, and if he pans out for him, that could be quite the good deal for the Rangers to move up there. Oh yeah, don't you know, Derry? That could legitimately be the steal of the draft with that guy. Some people think he's a much higher ceiling than he's really rated for. Like he's one of those guys that he's big and he's quick. Like he shouldn't have the quickness and agility and everything that he has for his size. The faults he has is more towards like he doesn't really have like a big shot or anything or big offensive abilities, but that's the type of skill that you can kind of train and get a little bit better on and get up to a decent level. Quickness, agility, those things are a lot harder to train and become really good at. So this was I think this was a pretty darn good pick for the Rangers. That is just like my opinion, man. You know, I'm not a professional scout or anything. Anaheim Ducks. Wiley Wyatt? Or Wyatt Wiley? Wyatt Wiley? I don't know. I'm still leaning towards Jet Wu. Jet Wu in my rankings, which is I think a combination of different rankings, is the 42nd ranked player, just FYI. So like I said, I don't expect him going in this first round, but my goodness, whoever gets Jet Wu, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, that's gonna be a pick. That's gonna be a pick to just put the team over the top in terms of names, right? If you're judging teams based on the names of their players, you know, that team is going to jump up some places just from that pick. So who... All right, so we finally got our first trade. Want to make a bet. What if nobody... What if neither team picks them? And nobody wins? Yeah, I think Boqvist will help the Hawks. I don't know if it'll be this upcoming year. I don't know if it's going to be right away. But picking in the top 10 there, any of those guys they picked, I think it was going to be a good pick for them, or for any team really within that top 10. I think it'll be solid. In a couple of years. Whether or not he makes an impact next season, I doubt it, but there's that possibility. But I think, it's more for 2 or 3 years down the road is where it's really going to pay off for the Hawks. But I think Boqvist will end up being a good name for the future on the Hawks. No game exchanged for For nothing? All right. Sure, let's make that bet. We'll do it. If Flyers pick Jet Woo, I'll get you a $20 game. Same with if the Hawks get him, you owe me. Jet Woo! Woo! That's such a great name. Seriously. Isaac Lundestrom? Lundestrom? Lundestrom. There's your Binding of Isaac reference there. Isaac Lundestrom. It's probably your new favorite player now, but he's on the Ducks. So probably not. I think for the Hawks, I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go offense. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded the 27th overall pick for something. But if they do pick a player, I think they're gonna go offense. And if I mean, there's still a couple picks left. We still got 4 teams ahead of us here. But if Veleno drops, then I see the Hawks making a play on him or picking him. If he drops, yeah, but I definitely think they're going offense for whoever if they do pick at the 27th pick. We got 4 picks to go though, so or 3. Wait, sorry, we got 3. Sorry, I was counting the Ducks pick there. Minnesota Wild, you're on the clock. You're gonna have to figure out a way to somehow find a player that'll help you get past the first round of the playoffs. It's that's so weird with the Wild. Like they've been good for so long, but that's it. Like they've just been good. They can't get over. I guess similar to like the Capitals, except Wild have never really been President's Trophy winners or anything. But like the Wild just can't get over that hump. They just can't figure it out. It's very interesting. They run into teams like the Blackhawks or recently like the Blues, not this year, but Blues or Predators or something like that. Who'd the Wild play in the playoffs this year? The Avalanche played the Preds, and then the Wild played the Jets. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they run into the Jets, who are, Jets had a team that could have easily been in the Stanley Cup final. You know, like they keep running in, they can't be, they're never able to be one of those teams like the Jets or the Blackhawks or the Preds or whatever. Just one of those teams that seem to just train, you know, run over their opponents in the playoffs. Just always the ones getting flattened. I'm surprised. What do you think was the stupid trade last year, Anthony? I'm surprised. I don't think Quigs, I don't think Vegas is gonna they're not gonna get back to the Stanley Cup next year. I don't think. I think they'll be in, you know, it depends on who they keep, but if they keep a lot of their guys, I could definitely see them in the playoffs again next year, but I don't think they'll be in the final again. I think some other team will represent the West. There's just a lot of good lot of good teams in the Western Conference. Panarin? Why do you think that trade was bad? Yeah, Panarin's. I mean, we're unsure that Panarin's even going to re-sign with the Columbus Blue Jackets. It would be the same deal if he was still on the Hawks. We wouldn't be able to re-sign him. At least we were able to get somebody at the time. Brandon Saad, known commodity. Obviously, Saad had a down year, but he could easily just, rebound this upcoming year and kind of put that away. We have salary cap stability with Saad. So there's a little bit more to just comparing the play of the two players. You gotta look at salary cap, and then you got guys that the Hawks need to sign coming up, and Brinkett and Schmaltz, and like there's a lot of moving parts, and the Blackhawks would have never been able to re-sign Panarin. I'm not going to say it was like a great trade or anything, but I'm not going to say it was a bad trade. I think it was a trade that, if you look at it, I think makes a lot of sense. Philip Johansson? I'm going to say Johansson. Philip Johansson. Kane and Panarin were fun to watch. Like I said earlier, I loved watching Panarin play, and the smile he had. He just had an infectious smile. He was just so giddy and happy just being on the ice. They were definitely a lot of fun to watch, and I was sad to see him go, but like I said, I understand the trade makes sense. It sucks that it had to happen just because of the salary cap situation the Blackhawks are in, but it made sense. And we didn't really think Saad would have as down of a year with that he had. However, basically everybody on the Hawks had a down year last year. So, I'm kind of that opinion of last year was kind of a little bit of just one of those years you just kind of throw away. Like let's see it. Like if it happens again this upcoming year, then that's a different story. But last year was just a weird year. It just seemed like nothing was going right for really anyone. Johansson, where are you? You're not even in my top 15 left right now. Oh, he's not. He might not even be. I don't even think he's in my. He's not even in my list. Yeah, I only took like the top 50, so if he's 54th, then yeah, he wouldn't even be in my list. So I've got to add him. Not a big deal. I accounted for this type of stuff. It just takes longer for me to do. There we go. Got it. Boom. It's done. Took a little bit longer, but we got it. There's probably going to be more of those two coming up, so that's going to be fun. It's a good question. It's a good question. Wild, Wild are they're in a weird situation. They're kind of in like that franchise is just kind of like in no man's land. And they've been in no man's land forever. They're just kind of at the top end of no man's land making the playoffs. Toronto Maple Leafs are going to trade the 25th pick and James Van Riemsdyk to the Calgary Flames for every pick in this draft that the Flames have. Yeah, the thing is, you know, we say that now. We think, you know, you look at a guy like Lou Lamoriello and you're like, well, like you need to keep him, but it's always a mutual thing, right? You know, if Lou didn't like the way things were run with that organization, the owners and everything, you know, there's other factors that come into play, you know, payment, you know, salary or whatever. Wild, obviously, it obviously just wasn't working out between him and that ball club. So, Tavares to the Leafs. Tavares is not going to the Leafs. Oh, we got a trade, though? Oh, that GM's looking pretty smug. What's his name again? He's a youngin'. I forget his name. So the Blues move up from the 29th pick, I assume. Yeah, I mean, Tavares isn't going to the Leafs as a free agent either. Yeah, you gotta think the Blues are moving up for a guy like Veleno. It's crazy. Like, yeah, what was all part of that trade? Oh, all right, you've already posted it. All right, so yeah, I assumed it. Used the 29th pick was part of that deal. It usually always is, that other first round pick. So the Blues, my assumption is the Blues moved up to the 25th pick because they wanted to get in front of the Hawks. That's my guess. Darn you. But yeah, similar to what kind of like what the Hawks did last year, moving down because the Dallas Stars really wanted to pick a team, only moving down a couple spots. This is a good move for the Maple Leafs if they don't really have somebody that they really are so if they're not really interested in, or they don't have a strong interest and they think they can get one of their main guys later on, pick up another pick and stuff. So I'm a fan of moving down a few picks if you're still debating between a couple guys, and there's no like number one guy that you really want. Is it really Jet Wu? Oh, I'm gonna be so pissed if it's Jet Wu. Don't you do it, St. Louis. Don't you dare do it. Don't you dare do it. I think my stream is probably about 5 minutes behind right now, because they just announced the trade. Better not be Wu. That's all I'm saying. If they traded up to the 25th pick just to get Jet Wu, that would be really silly, at least in my eyes. Oh, thank goodness it's not Jet Wu. Oh, thank goodness. Blackhawks can still get him at 27. Oh. Still get him at 27. All right, Senators. Are you going to trade again? Are you going to trade your pick again? Or are you actually going to pick here? Dominic Bokk's got some... Was he part of that? No. I was gonna say he wasn't part of that. He wasn't part of that Germany Olympic team, was he? It's too young for that. Alex. You can't trust a guy with 2 first names. That's what I always say. Senators trade the 26th pick and Bobby Ryan to the Calgary Flames for every single pick that the Flames have the next 2 years. Dominic Bokk he's got some good hockey flow though. He's got some good flow going. There's a good amount of these prospects that have some good flow. I would trust a guy with 2 last names more than 2 first names. Like that's a lot more uncommon than 2 first names. Like we already have the data points to prove the 2 first names. The 2 last names you'd be like, this person's interesting. I'm intrigued. 2 first names, we already know what's going on. And it's not good. Yeah, but how can we be sure they're middle names? That's the question, right? Are they 2 middle names, or are they just 2 first names that they say are middle names? But we're almost to the pick that we all came here for, and that's the 27th pick. So we're almost there. We're almost ready to see who the next elite player in the league is. Whoever gets picked at 27. I say that now, and then the Hawks are going to trade the 27th pick. That's probably what's going to happen. You know, I'm a little curious, Mike. What if you do know anybody with 2 middle names? Because I feel like that question comes from a little bit of experience. Maybe let's see. I wonder, maybe the Predators trade up into the first round here. No, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, would it? I don't think they really need to do that. Do I think the Oilers can unload Lucic? Yeah, I mean that was such a bad contract for them to sign. Like, I wasn't surprised the team like signed Lucic. Like, I wasn't surprised that the Oilers did sign him originally. I was really just surprised at the amount of money they paid for him and the length. That was such a bad contract. I don't know. It'd have to be to a team like it'd have to be to a team with cap space. It'd have to be a team like like Arizona. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Arizona's interested in that. I'd be really surprised if the Oilers were able to get rid of Lucic. I'd be really surprised. Bernard Docker. I don't even think I have Bernard Docker. Let's see. Oh, maybe I do. I just might have him. Oh, I have him. I have him. Would you look at that? Ottawa Senators. Getting the fancy screwed that up. Getting the fancy graphics. God, I'm terrible at live streaming. Such a bad host. I apologize. The Rasmus hat trick. Yep, first time hosting draft. First time live streaming. Besides, the only other time I've live streamed was like, Twitch playing a game. This is the first time I've done like a live stream of this nature. So. I feel like it's gone pretty well, but that's really for you guys to decide. I've been enjoying it though. I've had fun. You guys have definitely made it fun. Thank you guys for hanging out. Seriously, this has been really cool. And like I said, like this is the first time the Hawks have picked in the top 10 in quite a long time. So every time every draft has been kind of like later picks, like the 27th pick here. So it's kind of been just even though first round picks are always nice, it's kind of just like it's not the sexy top 10 picks, that we all come to see the draft for, right? The fridge break. I just need to add a graphic for next time. Next year's draft live stream. I'll have a beer break graphic. A beer break. That is hard to say. Beer break. Beer break graphic. Beer break graphic. Yeah, I got it. It's all right. No, I can't stream the actual draft. There's copyright laws on that. It'd get shut down super quick. The Ryan Hartman deal. The Ryan Hartman deal that sent him to Nashville. The Blackhawks got a first-round pick, which I was super happy with. As much as I liked Ryan Hartman, he commits a lot of dumb penalties, and getting a first-round pick for him was pretty nice. So, yeah, you know the song "Tub Thumpin'." That basically, I was just modeled after. It honored my life. I always get back up again. It is my moment again. I thank you for holding off here. My guess is a forward. That is my guess. As my prediction. And of course my stream craps out on me again. Now it's just showing somebody's office. Yeah, like hey, it's a good song. If it's Jet Woo, I'm just going to I'll probably chug the rest of this beer and go get another one. But yeah, I thought about background music, but once again, like with Google, with YouTube, they can detect that type of stuff, especially if it's licensed music, like, known music. Like, I'd have to go with unknown, non-copyrighted music and stuff like that, and maybe with more planning, next year's live stream will be better. I'll make sure it's better. I'll have a whole year to plan and create stuff that's super cool. All the beer break graphics that you need. It'll be super high class. Hey, thanks for joining us, Mads. I appreciate you hanging out and chatting. It's been great. Absolutely, bud. Take care. Are you kidding me? My stream changed to NBC. I'm doing Dateline now. What are you doing? What a crappy stream. Yeah. Nicholas Bowden. Another defenseman. All right. So they're really trying to address that defensive need, eh? It's quite interesting. They've gone 3 straight first-round picks. The Blackhawks have taken defensemen. So they're really going hard at it. They had Jokiharju last year, and then now Boqvist and Bowden this year. They went with the Bees this year. Two smaller defensemen too, like under 6 foot. It's a little interesting, but they must like something about him. Next on 60 Minutes, the story of Jet Woo, the best hockey player name ever. Actually, I don't know if I'd crown it the best ever. It's a great name. I don't know if I'd crown it the best ever. There's some really good hockey player names out there, especially if you go through history. I don't think Jet Wu would take the cake on that. So no trade for the Hawks there. A little surprised. I thought maybe they would trade it. Use it as some sort of thing in a package for maybe getting rid of Hosa's contract or something like that. Maybe they just didn't have any takers. Yeah, I know you can tell there's a green screen, especially if I hold my hand up like this. You can see the green reflection on my hand. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about... I didn't even read the tub thumping. I'm using a green screen too, though. Just FYI. For my overlay. Not like behind me. This is actual physical stuff behind me. Yeah, I see it now. I see now. I didn't read. I just read your last comment, not the one above it. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on stuff. Fake news. Is this draft fake news? All these picks fake news. This is actually just one final mock draft. We've all been duped. Lundqvist to the Rangers, eh? I wonder who had a say in that. I just really like their Lundqvist. No matter how it's spelled. Fancy graphics to the Rangers. Yeah, I mean, data's there, right? It's a small sample size, but the data's there. Lundqvists are pretty decent in a Rangers uniform. Puck moving defenseman. We have 3 picks left. 3 picks left in this final mock draft. Toronto Maple Leafs. What if they try and trade up? They try and trade up with the Rangers there. Are like, oh, we really wanted Lundqvist. We'll trade you. Hey, some guys are just really good at blocking the pucks. What about those hockey players? Do you have something against them? Who are the... You think the Maple Leafs would go defense here? But then again, well, like the 3 teams just picked defense in front of them. Like if they would have gone defense here, you think they wouldn't have traded down from their original pick, unless they knew they had insider information, knowing that their guy wouldn't be taken, even though 3 other defensemen were taken beforehand. So now I'm leaning that they think that they're gonna go forward. I'm actually really surprised Veleno hasn't gone yet. That's been a surprise for me. I thought for sure he'd go top 20. But just kind of shows how much I know. Pretty much absolutely nothing. Blocking is like the absence of moving. Kind of like cold is the absence of heat. What are they gonna do? Who did Detroit pick earlier? Detroit picked Zadina. That's right. So they got Zadina. So Detroit's probably gonna go defenseman. At least that'd be my guess. Like I feel like the Red Wings basically they need to get more firepower on the defensive end in terms of prospects. But their top pick was a right winger. Surprises me a little bit. Industrious, hardworking player. That's funny. That's a funny way to describe someone. Oh, did we get a Rasmus? That's a good one, here. We gotta use at least 3 adjectives per describing players because we didn't get enough advertising to fill time. We got Rasmus to the Leafs. Yep. OHL. 5'11", 184. Oh, yeah. All right, so 2 picks left. The final 2 picks of the night. Detroit trades the 30th overall pick back to Vegas for Tatar straight up. And Vegas comes in and somehow pick three prospects with this one pick because it's Vegas. Somebody posted a reaction from some Canadians fans reacting to their Kotkaniemi. I can't even pronounce that. Kotkaniemi. Nemi. It's like Niemi, but there's too many K's in front of it. Can't pronounce it. Anyhow, they're just absolutely bewildered about that pick. It's kind of pretty funny reactions. I could show you it, but I would bring up the whole Firefox debacle again. No, I'm not going to do that. We're too close to finishing this off on a strong note, or on a decent note. Let's just go decent. Detroit Red Wings. Who do they pick here? So like what I was saying before, the Maple Leafs select the defenseman. Obviously, they didn't think too highly of the other 3 defensemen that were picked in between their original pick and where they moved down to. That's interesting to me that the Leafs did that. They must have really liked Rasmus and knew that the Senators, the Blackhawks, and the Rangers weren't gonna pick him. I think the Maple Leafs should just change their name to the Maples. The Toronto Maples. Pick is in for the Red Wings. Who are they possibly going to pick? What if they do what the Buffalo Sabres did so long ago and just pick a fictitious person? The Detroit Red Wings pick Steve Yzerman. Joe Veleno finally picked. A long wait for him, but he finally feels all right now. Veleno must have had some bad interviews or something to drop the way he did. That'd be my guess. All right, Washington Capitals, final pick. Yeah, Joe Veleno, surprised he fell. And yeah, he must. A lot of teams must feel the same way in that he doesn't have the upside. Yeah, so lack of elite skill. But that wouldn't really drop you this far down, lack of elite skill. Because how many other guys that were picked before him lack, like, some of the other guys picked before him probably lack elite skills too, or lack having an elite skill. Oh, it's interesting. We just really want to pick Alex Ovechkin again. We're doubling down, making sure he never leaves. All right, now I'm a little curious. I'm a little curious now because I'm not all that convinced. I can't remember if I put in a check for after the Capitals. I'm kind of wondering what my overlay does once the Capitals make their pick. I wonder if it just blows up. Maybe it becomes a Firefox situation. I have a backup plan, though, just in case it does. So that's nice. And the backup plan is just removing the overlay. Well, I finally, thankfully, now that the draft is almost over, I finally found a reliable stream for this draft. So that's nice. Double up on the overlay. That's just too crazy, Mike. I can't do that. I don't think I mentally could handle that. Yes, I wrote this overlay in C. I actually did this in Visual Basic. Yeah, I'm happy. With the 8th pick. With the 8th pick, I didn't really have much of a preference. I kind of was under the impression of whoever they picked was going to be a quality player. I definitely have trust in our scouting department and Stan in that regard. I mean, just a top 10 pick in this draft because it's so deep, you're going to get a good player. So Boqvist is fine, and then getting Bowden. I like to see how they play out on the ice. I don't like to really judge kind of drafts as they are. I mean, they're kids. They're still kids right now. So, you know, you can get late round draft picks that turn into absolute studs in the NHL. I just like to kind of wait to really grade a draft until I actually see these guys play in Blackhawks uniforms. Oh, a new Alexander. They just had to pick an Alexander, didn't they? They picked a guy with 2 first names. Can't trust him. It's another 49 years of disappointment for the Capitals just because of this pick. Oh, man. .6'4", 196. That's a... I mean, that's like average size nowadays. It seems like. Oh, that is just horrid defense there. Sorry, they're showing highlights of him. Scored a goal because of some really bad defense. Like it was like I was trying to defend him. That's how bad it was. All right, well, here we go. Let's see how this overlay handles this. To finish off, lots of acne. Look, you ever see Andrew Shaw? You ever look back at his I mean, you could say the same thing now. Like Andrew Shaw, when he was drafted, and first couple years in the league, just tons of acne. It is what it is. Same with I think Nicholas Backstrom had that same thing too. Like he had a bunch of acne. It was kind of funny to see these kids grow and years down the road looking back at their draft day photos. All right, here we go. Stop delaying. Here we go. How is this going to work? All right. All right. It erred. There was an error, but nothing like broke on the front end. It was all just console error. So, woo! I failed spectacularly in silence. So that's it. That's the draft. That is the draft. Jet Woo's gonna go he's gonna go second round tomorrow, and he's gonna go to the Blackhawks. I can feel them picking him. It's gonna happen. Jet Woo is gonna be a Blackhawk come the end of tomorrow. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I enjoyed doing this. This was first ever time I've live streamed, or something like this at least. And it seemed like it went all right. There's some hiccups every now and then, but otherwise it was pretty decent. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll try and do some more live streams eventually at certain points. We'll see. But it was a good first start. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate that. Yeah, seriously, it was pretty cool. Thanks for hanging out, and stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.